all international conventions in terms of human rights, before to the UN Charter, before to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It came before the two declarations that have been signed on the rights of migrants to work abroad. We must imagine for a moment if Venezuela had, if Venezuelan rulers, if Hugo Chavez and Nicolás Maduro would have the character of Nayib Bukele, of that of Marco Rubio, or the character or the Nazi character of Marco Rubio and Nayib Bukele, with 6 million Colombians that came to this land, with the million Spanish and Italians and Portuguese that came to this land, with the over 800,000 Ecuadorians that came to this land, with the hundreds of thousands of Peruvians that came to this land, with the dozens of thousands of Chileans that came to this land, running from Nazism, from Augusto Pinochet, from persecution and death. On the contrary, we did right the opposite of what Pastor Limolem denounced in his poem. We open our arms and welcome them with our open arms. Spanish, Italian, Colombian, Ecuadorian, Peruvian, people from Arab countries. Every single time that a man, woman from the world ran from persecution and torture and war, every time that a man and woman ran from economic difficulties or from 120 years of war in Colombia, there were no concentration camps here. There were homes, bread, studies, work, and hugs. And I won't talk a lot about things that are absolutely evident and obvious. In first place, in the very first place, the vast majority, to not say all, of our brothers kidnapped in El Salvador, they don't even know, and in their life they had never set foot in the territory of El Salvador. Therefore, they had not committed any crime in El Salvador. How can it be now that they are kidnapped in El Salvador by Nayib Bukele? How can we explain this? Mr. UN Secretary General, how can you explain this? Explain this to us. The High Commission of the Human Rights Organization of the UN, explain this. Explain Venezuelans, how can it be possible that a person that has never set foot in El Salvador is now in prison in El Salvador? Under which norm, under which code, under which law, under which constitution? Explain this to us. I won't speak about that trash can in history of the Organization of American States. I won't bother myself with that. We are also before a narcissist, before a character as the son of our famous Uruguayan rock group. His only enemy is the mirror, and his name is Nayib Bukele. Mirror, mirror, the Grok network of artificial intelligence. Who is the most beautiful president? Which is the most populous president in the world? Popular? And the answer was Claudia Sheinbaum. Is there. He could not delete this. And for Adolf Hitler to exist, Hermann Goering, Raymond Heydrich, Himmler, there has to be also other kinds of people. Those that kneel, those that kneel, and those that play the fool, those that turn a blind eye. You want to see someone that kneels all the time to the new Hitlers, to the new Heydrichs. Let's play this video. People speaking to Maria Corina, she's saying that believe that I always run out of breath. And now she's completely going the other way around, saying that she's in support of the people being deported to El Salvador, supporting this measure. I believe that this scheme is very powerful and it sends a direct message that what is awaiting for you is not impunity to return to Venezuela, but the most severe justice in the United States or in a third country.
Esa basura,
that trash
llamada María Corina
called Maria Corina Machado
utilizó
used
porque fue toda una gran operación,
because it was a whole great operation,
una gran operación
a great operation
para otra vez
to once again attack
a
Venezuela
como un todo.
as a whole.
Ya nadie se cae mentiras con eso.
No one can keep telling these lies, because the first thing that said were the sanctions, Machado's, Leopoldo, is that they would only affect the oligarchy of the regime. And when they came out, there were sanctions against health, food, education, against the happiness of our people. Now everyone knows this. The nefarious effect, warlike effects of the sanctions against an innocent people. But then they use migration, and that's why they make it easier, and that's why they earn millions of dollars leading the groups of coyotes that took people all the way to the United States. Now they signed this paper that is called the paper of believable fear. They had lawyers over there in the United States, and quickly they were distributed all over Democrat states. And also, very soon it will be known how it was a plan. It was not something that came out of nowhere. It was not spontaneous. It was not volunteer. It was a plan to affect the tranquility of the United States, to then say that it was Venezuela's fault. In based of the law of the Foreign Alien Act, it turns out that I don't know if there is a Tren del Agua at this point in Chile, in Peru, or in Colombia, or in the United States. I know of a country where Tren del Agua was annihilated, exterminated, and it's called the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. There's at least one country that has ended the criminal bans, a country that has cleansed the territory of that brutal action of those criminal gangs, from kidnapping, killings, drug trafficking, trafficking of minors, human trafficking, to be used as sex slaves. To all of them, we neutralize them. And criminal band that attempts to reorganize, we're going to dismantle them. And any new band that tries to come up, we are going to neutralize them. As good people as we are, we put on the table our experience instead of filling your mouth with lies. Chilean government or Peruvian government or U.S. government ask us how we did it. And we did it together with the people. And we did it protecting the human rights of the people. But above all, we protected the human rights of the people of good of Venezuela that has their rights. That's why today they have free transit, free economic activity, and of course their individual liberty.
Es indignante que el nuevo Heydrich, llamado Nayib Bukele,
The new Hendrix, Nayib Bukele,
que el nuevo Goering, llamado Marco Rubio,
the new Hendrix, Marco Rubio,
que las
and
nuevas lacayas y lacayos
that the new lackeys
que inventaban que vinieran niños llorándole a las
that,
ventanas de los
that came
carros.
up with children coming onto their
María Corina, tráeme a
window
mi mamá.
cars crying,
Ella lo mandó pa'l
telling
Salvador.
them, Maria Corina, bring my mother home.
María
And
Corina,
what she did
tráeme a mi
was
papá.
to send them to El Salvador.
Y ella
Maria
lo mandó
Corina,
para
bring
El
my
Salvador.
father back. And she sent him to El Salvador.
Y cuando uno revisa
And when one looks over,
qué clase de delito puede haber cometido,
what crime could these people
migrante
commit? A
venezolano.
Venezuelan migrant sent.
absolutamente ninguna falta.
Not a,
Absolutamente ninguna falta.
not a single one. No one single crime.
Pero cuando aparecen algunas faltas,
But when there is a small
las
crime,
faltas son
the
infracción de
is
tránsito,
a transit ticket,
ruidos molestos,
noises, loud
y lo
noises.
bárbaros son.
That's how barbaric they are.
Venezolano o venezolana que no se solidarice,
Venezuela,
que no
any
busque
Venezuelan
activamente
that is not in solidarity with this,
la libertad de
that
nuestros
doesn't
938
seek
muchachos,
the freedom of our 238 boys and girls,
ojalá no le
they're
pase
turning their blind eye.
lo que dice
I hope that it doesn't happen to them what Nimor says. I hope it doesn't happen that at some point is one of their own family members, an aunt, a sister, a brother, an
no
uncle.
son
Because today,
238
It's
familias
not 238
están siendo
families,
afectadas
the ones that are being
por ese
affected
secuestro
by
bárbaro.
that barbaric kidnapping.
Somos 30 millones de indignados.
We are 30,000 people, 30 million people
Son nuestros 238
that are angry
que
about
los
this.
queremos de vuelta a
They
Venezuela.
all belong to us and we want them back in Venezuela. We want them back in their homes. We want them back in the embrace of their mothers, in the embrace of their fathers. We want them here so that they can embrace their sons and daughters and their wives.
30 millones.
We are 30 million of angry people
Y no vamos a descansar.
and we will not rest.
Vamos a denunciar donde haya que denunciar.
We will denounce this anywhere.
Vamos a trabajar donde haya que trabajar.
We're going to work
Ya lo está
everywhere.
haciendo el presidente Maduro.
And President Maduro is already doing this. We are already hiring all the lawyer firms that has to be hired, but this is not a case of
Esto no es un
rights.
caso solamente de tribunales.
It's not a case
Esto es un
for
caso
the
de
courts.
lesa humanidad.
It is a case of human rights violations.
De lesa
It
humanidad
is crimes
en contra
of
de
human
venezolanos.
right against human
Cuyo
rights
único
against
delito
Venezuelans,
es
whose
que
only
por sus
crime
venas corre
is that
la sangre
they
de
have
Simón
in their
Bolívar,
veins the bloods
la
of
sangre
Simon
de Francisco
Bolivar,
de Miranda,
the blood
la
of
sangre de
Francisco de
Tomás de
Miranda,
Sucre,
and the blood
la
of
sangre de
Jose
Luis
Antonio
Cáceres Arizmendi.
of Sucre.
Ese es el único delito que cometieron.
And that's the only crime that they committed.
Y no vamos a descansar
And we won't rest
frente a ustedes,
before all of you
que son sus madres y nuestras
that are
madres.
their mothers and our mothers, that are their fathers and our fathers,
Que son hijas, hijos,
that are daughters,
como
sons,
somos nosotros,
as we are
ustedes
of
también.
you as well.
Frente a ustedes,
Before all of you,
frente a la fotografía de nuestros
before
hermanos secuestrados,
the pictures of our
les decimos,
kidnapped brethren,
y lo lograremos.
we say, we will accomplish this. We want them back.
Los traeremos de vuelta,
We will bring them back,
sanos y salvos.
healthy
A los 238,
and
uno más
safe.
y uno menos.
all 238 of them, all those kidnapped, and we'll bring them back. And all Venezuelans
Que son perseguidos
that are
en
being
este
persecuted
momento,
right
sin
now
ningún tipo de
without
juicio,
any kind of
sin ningún
trial,
tipo de ley.
without any
Los
kind of
Estados
law in the
Unidos de
United
América,
States.
Estados Unidos
The
es
United
un
States
país seguro.
is not a safe
Estados
country.
Unidos es un
The
país
United
que no
States
respeta los
is a
derechos
country
humanos
that does
de
not
los
respect
migrantes.
human rights of migrants.
Los traeremos de vuelta.
We will bring them all back.
Volverán a su abrazo.
They will return to your
Volverán
embrace.
a sus casas.
They will return to their homes.
Volverán a la mesa
They
de la
will
cocina
return the table in your
cuando la
kitchens
mamá le sirve el plato de comida
when the mother
del almuerzo
puts
y de
the
la
dinner
cena.
on the table.
Volverán a abrazar a sus hijos.
You will embrace your sons
Volverán a
again,
abrazar a sus madres.
and you will embrace your mothers
Volverán
again.
con su familia, que es nuestra familia.
You will
Y
return
no
to their
descansaremos,
families, that is
y
our
lo
families,
lograremos.
and will not
Los
rest,
traeremos de
and we will
vuelta
achieve
a
this.
los
We want them back,
238.
all 238 of them.
Bien, escuchaban ustedes el compromiso del Parlamento venezolano venezolano en realizar todas las acciones necesarias junto al Ejecutivo Nacional para que retornen a nuestro país los más de 230 venezolanos secuestrados por el gobierno de El Salvador, donde han sido violados todos sus derechos.
Invitar a las diputadas y a los diputados,
I want to ask the deputies, along the families of the 238 family members of the 238 kidnapped, to end the session today to collect the signature as is being done all over the national territory so that all Venezuelans can express our indignation, our denunciation, our cry until those that had never had should have been taken to a concentration camp are back. There's no one else.
Se cierra.
Bien, es el desarrollo de la sesión ordinaria de este jueves. Con esta información nosotros vamos a retornar el pase al estudio. Adelante.
Compromiso del Estado venezolano.